So when it comes to business and entrepreneurship, everybody likes to talk about the things that work, right? The successes. That's fun to talk about. But the truth is that for me was a very small part of the equation. I've had many more failures than I have had things that have worked. And if I'm being honest, I've learned more from the things that didn't work than the things that have. One of the problems as an entrepreneur is that you don't know when to give up, right? This is one of the hardest things, because you're like, if I just tried a little more, if I just made a little more money, if I just, right? You keep going, and you can honestly drive yourself crazy. You can drive yourself to be broke, but you also can waste time. And one thing you need to understand is that time, that is your most valuable asset, other than health, of course, right? But your time. Every single day we choose how we invest it, whether or not it's for something that's productive or something that's not productive, or something that's just kind of treading water and being average. You choose how you invest it. And so for me, 3 years, that was something that Kevin O'Leary has always said, right? I met Kevin O'Leary. He's been on Shark Tank. If you guys aren't watching Shark Tank and you are an entrepreneur, what are you doing? Anyway, if you want me to tell you lessons that I've learned from my Shark Tank, you want to know about Shark Tank, down below say, yo, Alpha, let's hear about Shark Tank, because I've been on twice. First time sucked, second time a little better, and I learned a lot from those experiences as well. Anyway, he always says, 3 years. If a business isn't successful in 3 years, it is time to take that bleeding dog behind the barn and put it out of its misery. Shoot it, right? But it's hard. It's really hard as an entrepreneur. But one of the businesses that I had to do that with is what I want to talk about today, and that is Enemy, my custom sunglass company that I recently shut down. December 31st was the last day of Enemy. I shut it down. Now, why? What did I learn? This is something that I want to talk about today. If you like these longer videos where I'm kind of just like kind of brain dumping, because that's honestly, and I mentioned this in one of my other episodes, is that a lot of the things that I'm saying, it's not like real well like formulated. It's just so much. Like I've got so much like in here that I just want to like dump out, that I need to get more granular on certain topics. But right now, a lot of the videos are just going to be me just talking. And so if you get one piece or one nugget of value or information or thing that's going to benefit you, that's awesome. All right, so anyway, Enemy, I don't remember the date, but basically I had it for around 3.5 years. Now, when it comes to what is successful and failing, right, it's all relative. Failure is relative, right? I'm going to show you actually right here. $2,116,000. That is the total amount of money that I generated from start to finish with this business. But I shut it down. It wasn't successful, or it wasn't successful enough. Now, let me explain some of the things that I did wrong in order to help you. All right, so the whole story goes like this. I was in Chicago. I was at a T. Shanley meeting. I was walking down Oak Street. My buddy Zach has a glasses store, and on the window, it has a sign. It said, "Good is the enemy of great." I saw that word enemy, and I thought, damn, that would be a sick-ass name for a sunglass company. And so I did what most entrepreneurs do. I went back to my room. I went to GoDaddy, and I started looking for domains. I was like, okay, is anybody actually selling sunglasses named Enemy? They weren't. And so I was like, all right, I got Enemy shades, I got Enemy sunglasses. I bought all those domains, right? And I thought, you know what? I've got a guy, a friend of mine that knows how to basically do like renderings, and he's got some connections in China. And so while I was at the airport leaving Chicago, I called him. I said, hey, I want to start a sunglass company. Would you be down? Could you help me? And he's like, yes, I could. And so he was excited, I was excited, we were excited. And so we went to work. The way that I actually went about developing the styles, because I didn't want to actually just stamp my logo on a pre-existing design, because I could have. I could have just gone to China and said, hey, send me your samples, let me see the designs, I want to see your Wayfarers, I want to see your Aviators, I want to see your whatevers, right? Clubmasters, those were the 3 style types that we started with. And so I didn't want to do that. I wanted custom designs, perfect sunglasses. And so we went to the mall. I went to the mall and I bought 3 pairs of sunglasses. And I can tell you this now. I bought a pair of Gucci Aviators for like $800. I bought a pair of, I don't remember the style that I bought for this. I don't remember. Okay, so anyway, I went and I bought 3 styles of sunglasses. A few vlogs ago, I talked about basically the customization of soap, right? How you can make a custom design, but you use other products as kind of your inspiration. Well, I bought 3 inspiration sunglasses. I took them and then we basically had them rendered. And then we changed and tweaked certain things like adding the little logo, right? The little temple piece right there. That was going to be our signature, the design. So we go to Alibaba, like I mentioned a few vlogs ago, to find a great company. And I had companies send me different sunglasses to find the best quality sunglasses out of the manufacturers in China that make them. And what we landed on is the company that made like Tom Ford. They make what else? Oakley. They make a lot of these like premium designer brands, right? And so we're like, okay, great. And then we talked to them about materials and components. And like I mentioned before, it's all about what you choose as the entrepreneur to make these products out of. They're only cheap Chinese products if they use cheap Chinese like ingredients or components. For us, we wanted them to be premium because even with the fact that it was going to be a little bit more expensive landed, it was still going to have, or I was going to have enough margin in there to sell a premium sunglass for $150, $160, $170. And so we used Mazzucchelli, Italian acetate, sexy as hell, super premium. We used Zeiss lenses. Zeiss lenses, nobody's using Zeiss lenses. Zeiss lenses are like, in terms of like lenses, they make like camera lenses, they also make optical lenses. Crazy premium, nobody's doing it. We also used spring hinges, extra bonus, also titanium components. And we also had sexy cases, we had polishing cloth, like we had a beautiful package, it was sick. Actually, I have some. All right, so here's what it looked like, right? We had the outside box, inside, right? We had another box, nice and sexy, it feels really good. Inside the case, a big, sexy, hard metal case. Then inside, right, we also have a little bag, right, the microfiber bag, another additional charge. Inside then, you've got basically your sunglasses, right? Oh, so sick, so sexy. Oh, and then inside the box, another polishing cloth. So all of these little like sexy components, it adds up. So landed to us, the sunglasses were around like $35, not including shipping. Now, shipping. Another thing that you got to understand, shipping is crazy. And during COVID, it got even more insane. Typically, shipping for me, a pair of sunglasses landed was an additional like $5 per pair of sunglasses. During COVID, it actually went up to around $7, $8. I was literally getting a shipping bill for these sunglasses, for like 1,000 sunglasses, like $10,000, right? It was crazy. And so all these little things add up. So when you think about it like that, my landed cost for a pair of premium sunglasses was around like $50, right? Now, it's great if you've got still a $100 margin in order to advertise and use for your expenses, but here's what happened. So we built these sunglasses, crazy premium, and I'm excited because I didn't want to wear a cheap pair of sunglasses. We also started with 3 designs. I thought, all right, there are only 3 like styles that I personally feel like every guy needs. You need something that's like an aviator, a clubmaster, and a wayfarer. And then we had 2 colors in each style, right? We've got black, and then we've got a tortoise with a gradient lens. Now, I'm thinking to myself, yo, what else do you need? These are perfect, like done. Like I got 3 styles and we called them the Enemy 1s, the Enemy 2s, the Enemy 3s. They were sexy, right? Great branding, great packaging. Now, for the website, what do? We basically built a website, Shopify. Just use Shopify. I'm going to just stop you from looking. And then all the imagery, we used me, right? I was like, all right, I don't necessarily want to be like the model because I don't look great, but I'm like, you know what? Right now, let's just do it. The whole plan and goal with Enemy from the beginning was not to create an accessory brand Alpha M, right? It was to create a badass sunglass brand and sell like Shady Rays and some of these other companies are doing. Just to give you an example, Shady Rays, blenders, they're doing literally like $9 to $10 million a month. Quality super low, price point around $120, right? So we're thinking, all right, we got a super premium product. We get to advertise. We got Zeiss. We got Mazzucchelli, right? Guess what? Nobody cares. Nobody knows what the hell it is. Critical mistake. I built a product that was too premium for the price that I ended up selling it for. Now, if I had started selling it for $150 and that price point worked, I have a $100 margin in there. Once I started to actually buy in bulk and quantity, my price or my basis would come down in terms of the cost of each sunglass. But I never got that far. So I started getting everything ready, right? The website was built, I had my sunglasses in, and I forget what the opening order was. Something else. I bought the domain enemy.com because I was really like, I was going all in. And I found out that the domain enemy.com was possibly for sale. And so I thought, all right, instead of Enemy Shades, Enemy Sunglasses, just have an enemy.com. Man, that also sounds super premium, and it's just a great URL. And so I ended up buying that domain for $45,000 from some dude, right? Now, $45,000 is a lot of money, but I was thinking, total investment, in this brand that I was planning on turning into like a $100 million a year company, right? It was worth it, and I would have regretted it. And for me, a lot of things that I do or don't do is, will I regret it? Will I regret not doing it? If the answer is yes, then I do it. So I buy the domain and I'm ready, right? Super premium Lux, the samples, everything got sent to me. We were doing pictures, we were doing posts, and everybody was getting excited. We had an email list and I was like, yeah, right? Because another business lesson, when you start to develop a product, don't wait until you've got it in hand and you're ready to sell to start marketing. It starts pretty much like as soon as possible. You get a website, you get, your domain, you get an email capture, and you're off to the races. And that pretty much comes standard with a Shopify template, right? You get Shopify, and then you change the pictures. Hey, coming soon. Give me your email to be notified when we launch or drop. Anyway, we did that. And so I thought in my head, okay, these are going to be $150, $60, and $70 sunglasses. I've got a goal. I want to sell $100,000 worth of sunglasses when I launch and drop, or else I probably have a problem with the price. And so guess what? We launched. $50,000 is what I sold on day one of the Enemy launch, and I was gutted. And I know that sounds crazy, but I knew that I had a problem. I knew I had a problem with pricing. Something else I realized at that point is that my competition was a problem. My competition was Jose, Teaching Men's Fashion, another lifestyle influencer in the exact same space as me that launched a sunglass company a few months prior to me. And his price point was a lot lower. It was $50. Great price point. Now, how much was his sunglasses? I don't know. Actually, I do know. It was probably around like $15. So he had a little bit more margin, but he was going to make it up in volume, right? And so for me, I realized I was competing against him. Not only was it the fact that he was talking about it and I was talking about it, we all have our own audiences, but the problem was that people didn't know or understand or care that mine were so much better. Because everybody, even somebody who's selling a cheap product, is going to say, ours is awesome. We're using premium acetate, premium lenses. They're polarized, which are awesome. And the truth is that polarized lenses are not any more expensive or whatever than regular lenses. It's like a non-issue, right? But you can make the case and you can say that ours is the best because everybody that sells anything says ours is the best. And so for me to be like, yeah, but ours are really the best because I use Mazzucchelli Italian acetate, I use Zeiss lenses, spring hinges. The truth is, nobody cared. But why are yours $100 more? Is it $100 more worth of value? To me, the answer is yes, of course, because I'm into sunglasses and I know the difference. But to most people, they don't. Something else I didn't realize is the tremendous amount of, actually I figured that out later. All right, so what did I do? So I launched $50,000. I know I've got a problem. And so the critical decision was made. Let's drop the price to $100 and let's give everybody who bought a refund of the delta or the difference. So if you bought a pair of sunglasses on that drop for $150, I gave you a refund at $50. Went through and refunded everybody. And basically the story was, hey, good news. I negotiated with the manufacturer. We're going to have lower, or higher order volume, we're going to make up our margin, and so I want to pass the savings on to you. The truth is I was just eating the margin. At this point, I had like $50 worth of margin to play with. Now I only had $50, which I thought I was going to have $100. I had $50 to play with in terms of my margin. But once you throw on a discount code, because there are different ways to advertise or market businesses, right? You can either be like, yo, no discounts ever, like Thursday Boots does, and they do an incredible job and sell a ton of boots. They never, ever, 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 ever do a discount. It's such incredible premium value that we're not doing it. Or you can do what most people do is, all right, limited time discount code, 20% off. So here it is, ready? You have $100, call it $100 for easy math. I do a discount, now I'm down to $80. My cost still stayed the same at $50, so now I've only got $30 left. But I've also got employees, I've got people that I pay and commissions and this and that. All in, end of the day, you know how much I was making on a pair of Enemy sunglasses? Around like $10 to $12. The math doesn't work. That doesn't include any paid advertising. There's no money to do paid advertising, like none. And so, what do? At first, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to eat this, the first opening order, whatever. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to get my margins down. I'm going to order in bigger quantities. And that's what I did. I negotiated with my China vendor. I said, okay, if I order this many, where can we get the price? And they got it down maybe like $5 or $6. Now I'm like, all right, I got to get more creative, right? So anyway, long story short, I built a product that was too premium for the price that I was charging, and I didn't think about the fact that I still needed money in order to try and sell this stuff, right? Because for me, I didn't want to just be Alpha M pitching sunglasses. I wanted to basically figure out an ad or a mechanism to push a button and just sell a zillion sunglasses. And I thought, all right, if I make it up in volume, if I sold 1 million sunglasses and I made $10, I would make $10 million profit, right? That's awesome, but I never figured it out. Something else that happened is that I realized that the only way that these sunglasses moved is if I, Alpha M, Aaron Marino, pushed them and advertised them. But I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to have that responsibility. And so what I ended up doing, I was like, all right, I kept hearing in the back of my head, Kevin O'Leary, 3 years. If it's not working, shut it down. And it came to around the 2-year, 6-month point in the journey. And I thought, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I went to my manufacturer. I thought, all right, if I reduce the quality of the components, where can we get these sunglasses in terms of price? And I ended up getting them down to around $18. I also negotiated some shipping rates. I did it the ship as opposed to the plane. If you do that, you're going to have and save a lot of money. Instead of shipping things air and getting them within like a week or two, I shipped them on the boat. They call it the slow boat from China, right? For a reason. It's slow. It takes like over a month to get your inventory once it's shipped. And so during this time, I also thought, all right, I don't want to be the face of this brand. I can't be because I don't look that good in these sunglasses and I don't want to be the brand. And so I went to work. I developed a new website. I hired models. I got pictures. I got new sunglasses coming. I shut down Enemy and I was ready. I was ready to relaunch it. And I thought, okay, this is it. I'm going to give it 6 months. And if I can't figure out the advertising mechanism in order to sell sunglasses without me having to sell sunglasses, I'm shutting this bitch down. Guess what happened? I didn't figure it out. And what I came to realize at this point is that the sunglass market was crazy saturated and crazy competitive. There are so many other companies out there selling a very similar product in terms of quality and price. What at that point made me special? Nothing. The only thing that made it special in the beginning was the fact that I came out with it and I had a loyal following and customer base. I never figured out the equation to convert dollars and advertising money spent on digital to sales. And I never figured it out. And so when I realized, this was only after about a month of launching it, relaunching it, I thought, I don't want to do this. I don't want to have to spend the time, the energy, and the bandwidth and the money in order to try to figure it out. Do I think, if I'm being honest with myself, I could have figured it out? I probably could have because I'm smart and I've got a lot of smart people around me and I've got creative people. The problem was something else. I didn't want to figure it out because I had other businesses, other entities, other priorities that were making me more money and that were more worth me investing time in. Does that make sense? I didn't want to invest any more time in this business. And so for me, it was better to take the L. Now, at that point that I realized this, I thought, damn, I got over 4,000 pairs of these sunglasses in my warehouse and I don't want to promote them anymore. What do? I don't want to lose the money because literally if okay, so call it $20, easy math landed, right? I had $80,000 worth of inventory, my cost of inventory sitting in the warehouse, and I don't want to eat that, right? And so what do? I'm like, all right, crap, I got like 3 months before the end of the year. Now, the end of the year, why was that significant? Because I didn't want to have to go through the expense of filing taxes in the new year, right? I wanted to shut the business down, fix everything up, and get everything done by the end of the year so I didn't have to think about it in 2023. And so I had a goal. I need to sell every single pair of these sunglasses in the span of like 3 months. And guess what happened? I did it. How did I do it? I basically came on my YouTube channel and said, guys, thanks, but I'm done. All the sunglasses, 50% off, final sale, that's it. Boom, it exploded. My website went crazy, traffic went crazy, sales were coming in, and it was like, man, maybe I should keep this going. And I'm like, no, don't do that, stupid. The only reason why they're selling is because people know that it's the last chance to get them. 50% discount moves the needle, and they want to help me out. And so that was the reason why I sold out. I literally, by the time it was like the beginning of January, I was out of inventory. Every single pair of sunglasses that I had in stock, I sold. And I didn't lose any money. Actually, probably made a little bit of money, which was awesome. But it sucked. It sucked taking the L, but what sucks worse than that is investing time and energy and money in a business that just isn't feeling right or isn't working. And so for me, even though I did over $2 million in the span of like 3 years, it wasn't working to my needs, it wasn't working to my interest, and I just didn't want to do it anymore. And so I shut it down. Everything's gone, but I definitely learned some valuable lessons. And hopefully from my story and my experience, you guys learned something. You know, don't overbuild a product. You got to know your price. You also need to know how you're going to market it and the cost associated with that in order to sell if you don't have like a big following. Also, start marketing prior to actually having the inventory. That's another lesson. Another lesson is know your competition. Another lesson is make sure you're not distracted, because like most people, you're going to go where the money is. And if the money isn't here, you're going to lose interest, you're going to lose focus, and once that happens, the business is done.